Right now, the United States is already preparing for something it hoped it wouldn't have to do: reopen the Strait of Hormuz under threat of sea mines. The United States Navy is relying on literal combat ships, using drones and unmanned systems to hunt mines. But behind the scenes, that may not be enough, because the US is now considering deploying its last remaining Avenger-class mine countermeasure ships from Japan to the Middle East. At the same time, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has reportedly declared the strait closed, warning that any ship attempting to pass could face severe measures. Ships in the area are picking up radio warnings. Navigation through the Strait of Hormuz is prohibited. Crews are reporting GPS interference, forcing manual navigation in one of the most dangerous waterways in the world. And beneath the surface, the real threat. U.S. intelligence believes a dozen advanced naval mines, including Maham 3 and Maham 7, may already be in place. If the Strait of Hormuz is mined, can the U.S. actually reopen it? And if they try, what would that operation really look like? Sea mines are not advanced, they're not flashy, but they are incredibly effective. Some float just below the surface, waiting for contact. Others sit on the seabed, listening, watching, detecting the magnetic signature of a passing ship. And when they trigger, they don't just damage a vessel, they hit it below the waterline, where ships are most vulnerable. Even a modern warship can be taken out of action by a single explosion. And that's why naval commanders hate them, because unlike missiles, you don't see them coming. For years, the United States Navy relied on specialized mine hunting ships like the Avenger-class mine countermeasure ship. But here's something important and very recent. Those ships were withdrawn from the Middle East in 2025. So what replaced them? Not more mine hunters, something very different. The Navy is now relying on literal combat ships. These ships don't clear mines themselves. Instead, they act like floating launch platforms for drones. And that completely changes how mine warfare works. Modern mine warfare is no longer about sailors searching the ocean manually. Now, it's about machines, unmanned systems, autonomous vehicles. Underwater drones scan the seabed using high-resolution sonar. They map everything, every rock, every cable, every suspicious object. And when something looks like a mine, that's when another system comes in. A remotely operated robot, like the mine neutralization vehicle. It descends slowly, approaches the object, confirms what it is, and then places a small explosive charge right next to it. The robot backs away, and seconds later, the mine is gone. No sailors exposed, no ship at risk. But here's the catch. This process takes time. And in a place like Hormuz, time is exactly what you don't have. Here's something most people don't think about. You can't just start clearing mines while the enemy is still attacking. It doesn't work. Mine countermeasure ships move slowly. Drones take time. Helicopters fly low and steady. They're vulnerable. Which is why, before clearing even begins, something else has to happen. You have to stop the source. Over the past few days, US forces have already started doing exactly that. American aircraft, including Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II, have been used to target Iranian fast boats and suspected mine-laying vessels. At the same time, strikes have hit storage facilities, including sites linked to naval mines on key locations like Karg Island. The goal is simple: destroy the mines before they ever reach the water, because once they're deployed, everything becomes slower, riskier, and far more dangerous. So the question becomes, are these strikes enough to prevent a full-scale mine campaign? Even with drones, helicopters still play a critical role. The MH-53E Sea Dragon is one of the most unusual aircraft in the US military. It flies low over the water, towing massive systems behind it. These systems don't just detect mines, they can actually trigger them by simulating the magnetic and acoustic signature of a large ship. So instead of waiting for a tanker to hit a mine, the helicopter sets it off first, from a safe distance. It's controlled, but it's still dangerous because that helicopter is flying slow, exposed, and very visible. Not every mine is hidden, some float, and when that happens, the response is immediate. Warships open fire, heavy machine guns, autocannons, sometimes even small missiles. The goal is simple: destroy the mine before it drifts into a shipping lane. It's not precise, it's not subtle, but it works. And in a crisis, speed matters more than elegance. Here's the key point most people miss. The Navy doesn't try to clear every mine. That would take too long. Instead, they create a safe corridor, a narrow path through the minefield, just wide enough for ships to pass. That corridor is constantly monitored, constantly rechecked, because mines can be deployed again at any time. And once it's open, convoys begin. While all of this is happening, the mine-clearing units are not alone. Destroyers patrol nearby, aircraft circle overhead, drones scan for threats. Because in a place like the Strait of Hormuz, danger doesn't just come from below the water. Iran's fast attack boats can appear quickly, missiles can be launched from the coast, and everything is happening in a space barely wide enough to react. So every movement, every radar contact, every unknown object becomes a potential threat. Over the past several days, United States Central Command has been carrying out a series of coordinated strikes against Iranian naval assets across the region. But these attacks are not just about power projection. They are highly targeted, with a very specific objective in mind: neutralizing Iran's mine-laying capability before it can be fully deployed. U.S. forces have focused on destroying the kinds of vessels that can quietly enter shipping lanes and deploy mines in a matter of minutes, including small fast boats, modified civilian craft, and other platforms linked to Iran's naval operations near the Strait of Hormuz. According to defense officials, at least 16 Iranian boats believed to be involved in laying sea mines have already been destroyed, along with additional support vessels and infrastructure tied to this network. And that tells you something important. This isn't just about reacting to mines already in the water. It's about stopping the threat at its source. Because once those mines are deployed, everything changes. Clearing them becomes slower, more dangerous, and far more complex, especially in a narrow, high-traffic waterway like Hormuz. So right now, these strikes are buying time. Time before the mines spread, time before shipping lanes are disrupted, and time before the United States is forced into a full-scale mine-clearing operation under combat conditions. The real question is, how much time do they actually have? Sea mines are one of the oldest weapons in naval warfare, and yet they still have the power to disrupt global trade, to slow down the most advanced navy in the world, to turn a narrow stretch of water into a global crisis. And right now, all the pieces are there: the mines, the ships, the tension. So the real question is, if this escalates further, how long before the clearing operations begin for real? And if they do, will anyone realize just how close we came to shutting down one of the most important waterways on Earth?